Ah, the Union Steamship Line. Those years are long gone, but the memories left behind made me write this little song. When 3 jawbreakers were a penny, and 2 comic books just a dime, we'd sail on the Lady Cecilia, Union Steamship Line. Ah, the seagulls, they hovered over our passenger ship as we came home from Vancouver. There were no cars, no ferry slip. We lived in Gibsons and Granthams, Hopkins and Port Melon, and we sang the old anthem. There was no such thing as a 7-Eleven. The Union Steamship Line. Those years are long gone, but the memories left behind made me write this little song. Now an ice cream cone was just a nickel, and a creamsicle a penny more, and some of us were still very little. Sure loved that grocery store where 3 jawbreakers were a penny, and 2 comic books just a dime, and we'd sail on the Lady Cecilia, Union Steamship Line. Oh yeah. Well, some of you out there, if you're old enough, might remember the old days. Remember going to the movies back in the 1950s? I think, what was it, 25 cents or something? Popcorn was a nickel. There used to be one person who made sure you behaved yourself. Usually had a flashlight. That's what this song is about. I remember Mrs. O'Reilly playing her role at the old movie theatre when O'Reilly was on patrol, with a flashlight and a grimace, what a message she would send, be it Betty Grable or the Bowery Boys. Silence to the end. Now the ice cream was delicious, but no wrappers on the floor, and smooching was malicious, her footsteps they meant war. I remember Mrs. O'Reilly playing her role at the old movie theatre when O'Reilly was on patrol. But you see, popcorn came free with each ticket at every movie matinee, and throwing it was so wicked. Whee! What a price she would pay. And when the projector usually broke, and as kids watched the bulb burn a large hole, she tried so hard to cope, total pandemonium. Oh, bless that lady's soul. I remember Mrs. O'Reilly playing her role at the old movie theatre when O'Reilly was on patrol. Does that bring back a memory or two? From Gibson's Landing, that's where I grew up. Well, I didn't grow up, but that's where I'm from, Gibson's Landing anyways. I'll try that again, folks. I'm from Gibson's Landing, that's where I grew up. Well, I never grew up, but that's where I'm from. When Molly's Reach was still the liquor store, and playing the Irish it was a sin, as kids would be down by the Gibson's wharf, watching the tide come in to the beautiful sunshine coast. Of course, it never rained. It was just a wee bit of that Scottish mist, and the Squamish a-blowing in again. When Molly's Reach was still the liquor store, and playing the the Irish sweepstakes, it was a sin. Us kids would be down by the Gibson's wharf, watching the tide come in. Now Flatigers, they owned the toy store, and Marshall, he did the plumbing. Don Hawker was still testing tubes to keep our radios running. And Jimmy owned the butcher shop, and Smitty was still renting wooden boats. And old man Connor sold us licorice sticks, while the cobbler fixed our boots. When Molly's Reach was still the liquor store, and playing the Irish sweepstakes, it was a sin. Us kids would be down by the Gibson's wharf, watching the tide come in. And then we go combing down by the beach, listening to the putt-putts wheeze, looking for treasure at our leisure, and life was but a breeze. When Molly's Reach was still a liquor store, and playing the Irish sweepstakes, it was a sin. Us kids would be down by the Gibson's wharf, watching the tide come in. Oh yeah. Give me garage sales, lots of garage sales. Don't make me stop. Let me dream of banjos and accordions and cameras and wind-up watches and all kinds of cool stuff. Let me be an early bird, morning hound, the first to take a real good look around, possessed completely by compulsion bound. Another antique typewriter found. Don't make me stop. I wanna drive home with that car completely loaded. Just like last week, I won't tell you who exploded. I don't like computers, and I don't like modern technology. Please don't make me stop. Give me garage sales, lots of garage sales. Oh, don't make me stop. You know, folks, I've been going to garage sales for years, but I haven't bought a garage yet. Well, somebody said it couldn't be done. He with a chuckle replied, well, maybe it couldn't. But he was one who'd never say no until he tried. So he buckled right in with a trace of grin, and he tackled that thing. By golly, he did it. I'm going to start the song again, it's okay. Somebody said it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied, well, maybe it couldn't. But he'd be one never to say no till he tried. So he buckled right in, with a trace of a grin on his face. And if worried, he did it. And he tackled that thing that couldn't be done. By golly, he did it. You know, he used to say that every morning in front of the mirror. A premier of beautiful BC. It's a fact. Read his book. Read the biography. Well, old Cecil came to the interior, proud maritime roots. He ran a hardware store business, selling frying pans to rubber boots. He never quite had the same charisma as a Bill Van Der Zandt, but I'll tell you, he sure had the reality to make something special of his land. He believed in the PGE, the Prince George eventually. He engineered BC Rail. He improved the track record essentially. He took great pride in this province for people to visit and no problems to invest. While both sides of the political spectrum. He tried to balance his very best. Yeah, to W.A.C. Bennett's credit, social and otherwise, we're still indebted under left and right-wing skies. Yeah, this song is dedicated to Premier W.A.C. Bennett. He was the spirit behind that magazine, Beautiful B.C., and the world's largest ferry fleet. Until Davy Barrett came along, he was practically impossible to beat. Yeah, this song is dedicated to Premier W.A.C. Bennett. A great premier, probably the greatest. British Columbia's history. W.A.C. Bennett. Well, who are the sheep? Who keeps the fleece? $1 billion for a 90-year lease. What a deal, what a steal. Well, some said, what's the use? We become a caboose. The engine just ran out of steam. Not those of us who remember Bennett's dream. By Lions Gate Bridge, past Horseshoe Bay, underneath the upper levels highway, you can still feel the spirit of W.A.C. and the train they call the PG. 'Cause deep inside, cut through rock, he had some pride he could not be bought. With tunnel vision tied to other tracks, railroaded with that mission. Now we're finding out more of those facts. Yeah, for Campbell's soup, there's a better use. Serve it on a liberal caboose, and we can get back some of the self-esteem with that old locomotive called Bennett's Dream. Who are the sheep and who keeps the fleece? $1 billion for a 9-year lease. What a deal, what a steal.